In this video, we are joined by two very special guests, the one and only the Enchanted Explorers in the house. We're talking all about their journey to being a content creator, their love for Disney, how they got into that whole thing. We're going to talk a lot about Disney as well in regards to the current state of the parks and what have you. Up next on OG 55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG 55. We are joined by the one, the only Enchanted Explorers. Thank you both for coming on and joining us today.
Hey, thank you so much for having us, guys. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you could let everybody home know where they can find you on social media, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So you can all of you guys can find us on Enchanted Explorers. Pretty much everything. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And that's pretty much the handle we typically use is just Enchanted Explorers. If you guys want to also check out our personal stuff, we have our personal stuff, Corey.Saldana.
Hoshmo, Phmode.
Yep, and that's where you guys can find us.
Awesome. And I'll be linking all their stuff in the description down below. Corey, I do want to say too, I really like your podcast channel that you do with the interview.
Thank you. Yeah. This is. So I was actually going to mention this is my first time in a long time. I've been on a couple podcasts previously before I had actually started my own. But this is the first time in a while I've actually been on a podcast since doing mine, which is the Artistry Drop. And pretty much the Artistry Drop just features a lot of upcoming artists all around LA. People ranging from actors, actresses, TikTok, or not just TikTok, but influencers in general. But we do bring on a lot of musicians, and we've had some pretty big people come on the show. And yeah, we're still growing. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. Podcast is definitely a hard niche to grow. But we're still doing it. We still love what we're doing. And, that's why we're still pushing through to, get to a point where we're definitely comfortable at.
Yeah, no, you both do a fantastic job. And like I said, everybody, I'll be linking all their stuff down below. So subscribe, follow them, show them all the love.
Hey, appreciate it.
Perfect. Oh, and I got to do, hold on one sec. There we go.
Yeah, you guys
Michael
know.
Jackson fan.
Yes, for sure. Appreciate you hitting me with that sound, though.
You know what I'm saying? I had to, man. I had to.
Love it.
And right over here, I got George, Citrus George. He's the host of our Walt Disney World show here on the channel. George, welcome back, sir.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be back. And I'm not even going to attempt to even try to do that sound effect. I don't want to rupture anything.
Hey, it's worth a shot at least.
Yeah.
Come on, George.
There you go. See, there you go.
You get that rush. You get pumped there.
Yeah, you got to hit it from the back of your throat sometimes. Sometimes it hurts to try to do it, but once you practice it enough, you'll definitely get there. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
It's a lot of practice. It's a lot of practice for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, just like that. I'm bleeding through my trousers right now, so it's like. But if anyone wants to find me on social media, you could do so on X at Disney George. I am George the DG. And you could also find me on the podcast called A Walk with Walt, where we dive into the rich nostalgia history of the one, the only, Mr. Walt Disney himself. And of course, you'll find me here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
George came up with his own little tagline right there.
Hey, I love it. Love it.
Okay, so I want to start so you guys do the in-park Disney parks vlogging and stuff, and you guys do a phenomenal job of it. And
thank you.
Yeah, really great stuff, and we're gonna dive into that. But before, I'm assuming before the vlogging started, you guys kind of already had a real love and fondness for Disney and the parks and what have you. If you want to kind of dive into how did that whole thing start?
I mean, you want me to? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for those that don't know, I'm originally from Seattle. I moved down here, to LA 2019, pretty much the year before COVID actually hit. Actually, a few months before COVID hit. But I moved down here because I had graduated film school and, was trying to get it, still getting in the film industry here in LA. But, I've always loved theme parks, but my favorite theme park, I know this is Disney Channel, guys, but Universal. I'm a Universal guy. But, I do love Disney. I do love Disney as well. But, beforehand, like, Universal, like, it just kind of flows through my blood, just because of the love for film and filmmaking. And, going to, Universal just, always makes me feel at home just because, seeing, behind the scenes and just feeling that rush of, like, being in a, like, backlot of a movie studio and stuff. It's awesome. But, definitely when me and Rachel met, we met out here in 2019 as well, kind of once I moved out here. I knew she was always a Disney, person and stuff like that. And, when I've come down here for, vacation, I've gone to Disneyland every single time. But, and growing up, of course, I grew up with Disney movies and all that. I don't think I was the biggest Disney fan. But I would say Rachel definitely made me a huge Disney fan, like just going to the parks more often, So yeah, I mean, I would definitely say all the Disney, love and all that comes from her and she kind of passed it on to me. So
That's
yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Good job, Rachel. Good job, Rachel.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you could touch on, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from California, so I grew up going to Disney. My parents love going to Disney, so ever since I was a child, I've been obsessed with Snow White. So I think that kind of like latched me onto like Disney princesses and all the Disney movies, the animation. Before I even got into, I'm doing like fashion design, so even I got into that, I was always into drawing. So Disney is definitely one of my inspiration growing up and even until now. So it's been a big part of my life personally. But yeah, the Disney theme park is so fun to go. I feel like it's always a magical place. Yeah, you get to just have your own little fantasy there,
Right.
But that's pretty much my love for Disney as like all the time. Yeah, But I'm glad I was able to pass it on to Glory.
Yes.
And now we're having a baby because then I want to bring our child to Disney.
Yeah, for sure, yes.
Yeah, yes. And congratulations, by the way, on your.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, Rachel, it's interesting. My Disney story is kind of similar to yours in a lot of ways. Like growing up, like I grew up as a kid, like with that Renaissance era, right? The Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, all that, all those phenomenal movies, and it really inspired me. I wanted to be a Disney animator for like the longest time.
Oh, that's dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so I was into the drawing stuff too. I interned at like Nickelodeon and like a couple animation places and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I was all into the drawing stuff, and it kind of spearheaded my love for Disney, through those movies and the art and all that good stuff. And then through that, I kind of got more into the theme parks, and it's kind of been like that ever since, and I'm older. So it's, when I was,
hey, age ain't nothing but a number. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Right, exactly. So like, it's been a while, it's been a long time. So decades to say the least. But, yeah, I mean, it's been pretty much a lifelong thing for me. And, it ain't going anywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I'm still here talking about it all day on the channel, and it's fun. But
it stays with you.
It does. It really does. George, what about you, man?
Yeah. So for me, I'm a '90s kid, so I grew up with the Renaissance era. Beauty and the Beast for me is, I think, not even just one of the greatest animated films of all time, but just a great film in general. Like you can put that movie up to some hard hitters, like against Spielberg and Quentin Tarantino and what have you, and it's like it could hold its own. But I have a very strong connection with a Goofy movie because to me it screams the '90s, man. I love a Goofy. Yeah. Powerline, I tell you what, I would drain my whole savings account to go see a Powerline film.
Yes, I got, like I said, I don't, yeah.
Right there.
Oh yeah, see, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm a huge Powerline fan for those that don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I got all the Funko Pop, like all the pins, all that stuff on there. Yeah, I'm a huge, yeah, no, I'm a huge Powerline fan, and you know, like I said, you know, growing up too, like Goofy movie was definitely one of my favorite movies as well. You know, alongside with Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. You know, like I said, I grew up with Disney films and loving Disney films. It's just like I think also since I never lived here in California, I never really got to go to the park, so I never had like a love for Disneyland or anything like that. But I had a love for Disney. But sorry to cut you off, Dor.
No, you're good. I actually share that similarity with Disneyland because I'm from the East Coast. I live in Pennsylvania, and I do a lot of frequent trips down to Walt Disney World. I was a late bloomer for Disneyland. I went for my 21st birthday, and for my first time in Disneyland. And wow, I just completely dated myself.
Hey, it's all good.
But
Never too late.
so for my 21st birthday, I got to experience Disneyland, and a lot of people say, you know, oh, if you go to one, you don't need to go to the other, and it's. I always like to compare Walt Disney World and Disneyland as apples and oranges. You know, they're two very different tastes, but the taste is delicious. It's satisfying.
Right.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
every time I walk into Disneyland, it's Walt's park. You know, he had his handprints fully on that, and it just gives you the sense of home, for which I find myself going out to Disneyland more recently than Walt Disney World, and I'm actually in the process right now of actually becoming a Southern California resident. So.
Nice. Hey, congrats to you. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm converting.
Yo, you know what? We have not been to Disney World yet, and we have been talking about it.
Wanting to go so bad.
Yeah,
and,
we want to go
and you definitely should, because it's a completely different experience. I took this guy this past summer for his first time.
Nice.
It was phenomenal. It's so different. It's so different.
Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
big park. You know, I mean, like, kind of like what you were saying. Like, if you go to one park, you really don't need to go to the other. I don't believe in that. Like, I want to experience all the parks. Like, I want to go to, you know, the one in Paris. Definitely want to go to all the Disneylands out there. Yeah. But obviously, we'll start slow. Let's go to Disney World first, you know, before we actually travel out of the country to, you know, visit all the other Disneylands and stuff. But yeah, you know, I definitely want to see them all as well.
Yeah, and that's what I told him after I showed him Walt Disney World. I was like, okay, we crossed that one off. Let's off to Tokyo.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But a little piece of advice when you go to Walt Disney World, which I'm for sure you guys are probably already going to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely stay in the Disney bubble. You have to stay in on property. Use the transportation.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's nothing like it. It's like you're immersed in everything.
That would be the goal. That would definitely be the goal.
Be the goal.
Yeah,
I would love to experience the hotels there.
Yeah.
And see like how it is there compared to here. Because I've stayed the ones here in Disneyland, but they have so much more themed out ones over there. I want to see.
Yeah. And I think you have the gondola track that actually takes you from the hotels.
Yes,
or something.
we have the Skyliner. So
okay, the Skyliner.
If you want to utilize the Skyliner, you could stay in Art of Animation, Pop Century, the Riviera Resort, Caribbean Beach. Any one of those hotels is on the Skyliner direction.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something I would love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell you guys, like I came back from that Walt Disney World trip like so tan. Like I'm gonna show you something. Like this is so funny.
Yeah, that'll be us for sure.
This is like this is the video we did like right after, and I was like so tan. Like the sun out there hits like so differently. We were
oh my God.
For sure, I know I would be coming back burned.
Yeah.
Like I would not be tan.
Sunburned.
I would get burned. Yeah, that's the thing about me is I get burned really easily. Even if I use sunblock, I still somehow get burned. So
Yeah.
that's something I'm already expecting.
I know he wears like these necklaces, and he has like one,
Yeah, I got like
line
these
right
tan
there.
lines and stuff right here. Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you, have either of you ever done a Disney cruise?
I've been
No.
wanting to.
We've been talking about that,
I
yeah.
told Tori I've always wanted to go, but I wanted to wait until I like have a kid. You know, in the future, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
how we can bring him to Disney cruise because I feel like there's so much stuff to do for kids in the Disney cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we definitely want to experience that.
Yeah, that's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, after the baby comes and, you know, we'll be able to go on a cruise maybe a year or two after that. Yeah.
Wait until they're like a certain age
Yeah.
where they can remember to experience
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Yeah, it's like a family outing.
Yeah.
Cool,
sure.
cool. So now that's how you guys got into Disney and all that. Now, how did you how did that translate into like getting into like the Disney park vlogging stuff? Like,
so
when did
that's actually that's a funny story. So this actually happened last year. We were it was during the pandemic for sure. But you know, the thing was, I ended up getting me and Rachel Universal passes before COVID, like literally in February of 2020. We ended up getting passes, and we had only gone to Universal twice before the whole world shut down, pretty much. So pretty much after the parks had reopened, that's where me and Rachel kind of started getting into doing like vlog content. You know, like the parks were slowly opening here and there. So we were talking about it for a while, you know, why don't we start a channel together? Because also for her, it's something that she kind of wanted to always do. Yeah. And I think she always wanted to do it on her personal channel, but I was like, let's just make this a couple things, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, after we started doing, you know, some vlogs, at Universal, and then, you know, Disneyland obviously wasn't open, like Downtown Disney was open. And we were trying to do whatever we could in Downtown Disney to create content at that time as well. Universal, I think wasn't it open before Disney, or I forget.
I know they had like the food tasting.
Yeah.
I don't remember like which one opened first.
Yeah, I forget which one opened first, but obviously, you know, we didn't have Magic Keys at that time.
Yeah, it was
so
hard to get like annual passes.
Yeah, so that's why we were utilizing obviously our Universal Pass and creating content
that
there
was the
first.
Only access we had to the parks. So we were like, okay, the closest thing is Downtown Disney.
Yeah. So we pretty much, you know, just created vlogs and did what we could, but there's just a time period that we kind of stopped creating vlogs, like after maybe a year or something, because
we did put a pause.
Yeah, we did put a pause.
Yeah, because you ended up doing your content for your personal things, and then I did mine.
Yeah, and then I actually landed a new job too.
Oh, that's right.
So that's kind of also what put a stop on it. But it got to the point where I was like, you know what, we should reboot the channel. And this was actually last year. So we bought 3-day tickets for Disneyland for our birthdays, and we pretty much went in between, because my birthday is July 24th and hers is July 31st. So we pretty much were like only almost 7 days apart, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So what we decided to do was, you know, go in between. So what we ended up doing was just watching YouTube videos, and
we were like, it's been a long time since we've been inside the park, so we're like, what's new after the pandemic hit? And then we were like, wait, there's people who are live streaming at the park? I didn't know that was a thing.
We had no idea. Yeah, we had no idea like live stream was actually a thing. So, you know, I was like, whoa, look at these live streamers. They're live streaming from the parks. And I think, you know, a couple of the first people that we had actually seen was like Theme Park Steve, Attractions Live, Mondo. Mondo. Yeah, you know, it was so crazy seeing these people like actually like live streaming and stuff like that. So that's where like, you know what, let's give this a try. You know, so we ended up like buying a super cheap like $50 gimbal off Amazon and using our phones and you know, testing it out. And we honestly like, we weren't sure what to do. Like we had no idea.
My God. We were like, oh my gosh, we actually have like 3 viewers.
Yeah, we had. It was literally like, literally our first time we started, literally had 0. Like, and then you know after going in, it picked up a bit. Yeah, it picked up a bit because I think also during that time, like Disneyland streams were just not a thing. Yeah. So it was like something new. I think also. And, started live. We had 0. And then I think the most we had, for the daytime, because we eventually went live, during the night. We had probably like 3 people max during the day. Yeah. We had 3 people. And then, it was, what was it? The electric parade?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was the
Main Street Electric Parade.
Yeah.
We decided to live stream that.
That's where it picked up more.
Yeah, it picked up more. We, I saw it going up. We got up to, I want to say maybe 17 to 20 people. And I was like, check this out. We got like hella people watching us.
Bad for our first one.
Yeah, it wasn't bad for our first one, So we're like, okay, this is kind of cool. And, the thing is, we were both kind of used to live streaming already, but from home because, we play video games, play Call of Duty, and, live streaming from home was already a thing for us. We just weren't sure how to go about it for Disney live streams.
Yeah, it was way different.
Yeah, it was way different. And, what we did was after testing out live streaming at Disneyland, obviously, our 3 days were done. We were like, you know what? We got passes at Universal. Let's try live streaming at Universal.
So I did it one time.
Yeah.
Remember I did a solo stream?
Yeah, she did a solo stream.
And then afterwards,
yeah.
because I used to work at Universal Studios, and then I was like, okay, let's give this a try.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually surprised. Like, there were like over 20 people watching.
Yeah.
I was like,
wow.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and
it was
then I
crazy.
told him, and he actually jumped into, because I think he had a podcast that day.
Yeah.
So you weren't able to join me, but that was crazy. I was like, but it's actually fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun, but I'm not gonna lie, I was really shy at the beginning, especially by myself.
Yeah.
So I literally went incognito. I had like a mask on and my glasses.
yeah.
Like no one's gonna know who's me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
How did the two of you come up with the channel name?
Oh, that's
that was actually me. Like we keep talking about that. Enchanted. So I was really trying to look at some other live streamers that had their names. There was like Magically Consumed. Yeah, get some inspiration and stuff like that. And I was just looking up on Google, and then I was thinking like Enchanted, like obviously something magical, right? And then we're kind of exploring. So I was like, how about Enchanted Explorers? And then I was like, yeah,
I
she
like that.
Yeah, she liked it. And then I was like, we were telling our friends, and they're like, yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool, So
on reassurance, we're like, okay, does this sound like okay, like for a theme park? The piano. They're like, that seems very different.
Yeah. So that's how we came up with the name. It took us a little bit of time though. Obviously with it's I think it's the hard part of like branding yourself and your brand. It's the hardest part, like coming up with a name that sticks and that you plan on using long term. And it was just one of those things where it's like Enchanted Explorers sticks. I think let's just rock with this and go forth and see how people feel. And I mean, people have been loving it, so it's crazy.
Well, and I think the secret to, and you guys have been growing like crazy, and I think like just from a fan of your content, like from my perspective, I think the secret to your success is your chemistry, the two of you.
I can see that. Yes.
Like your chemistry, like you guys are like the most adorable couple ever. Like, and it's
appreciate it.
No, you are, and you guys vibe off each other, and that's what I think. Right? That's what really sets you guys apart. Because be real, I mean, there's a lot of people out there putting out Disney vlogging content, but what sets people apart is the person behind the camera, right?
For sure.
So anyone can film something. But it's the personalities that are going to bring people in. And I think with you guys, it really is the secret to your success because you guys are fun, and you're authentic and grounded, and it's just it's really, really entertaining. And
I appreciate that.
It's really great content. Really great content.
Yeah, thank you. No, you know what? I'm also super extroverted, so I talk a lot.
That's why he's like the talker. He's the one holding the gimbal.
Yeah.
So like you can take over. I'll the chat.
Yeah, usually even when it comes to the vlogs, I'm holding the camera, doing the intros and all this stuff. So, I've never had an issue being in front of the camera or in talking because I've had my personal YouTube channel since like 2010. I've been doing YouTube content for a long time,
You're used to it,
I'm used to it. Yeah. So it was like, this was nothing new for me. It was just, it's a new in a sense because live streaming at a park and doing like IRL content, it's a lot, it is different, but being in front of the camera, it wasn't different. It's the same kind of thing I do is just like getting used to actually being out, talking, walking around, talking to a camera and people looking at you weird and stuff like that. You know, it's just, yeah, you know, we still get stares up to this day. And, you know, and I know there's a lot of people out there, that really don't like live streamers. I hate to bring this up, but, it's one of those things.
Like, you know, exclude of what is around us. But I mean, also keep in mind that, you know, we are recording people at the same time. So if we do see someone who's uncomfortable, kind of just point away the camera.
Yeah, we definitely try to be as respectful as possible, you know.
Or we just point at each other. If we're both live streaming together, it's a lot easier to just have it facing one another so that we don't have to, like, record everybody else around the park.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, live streaming definitely took a little bit of time to get used to, but, you know, once you do it for a while, you get used to it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun for sure.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah, I would imagine, because I haven't done the live thing. Like, I've done this podcast style format. Yeah, but I don't go in and do it in park, and it doesn't look easy. It doesn't look easy.
No, it's not.
Right? Because I would imagine, like you guys were saying, like you guys, people looking at you, and then maybe someone makes a comment like, "Oh, I don't want to be on camera," and then it's like drama. It's like, so I can understand how it would be very difficult. You guys navigate those waters really, really well. So.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
Figuring out our signals too. I think that was the most challenging thing in the beginning.
Yeah,
we didn't even know about like our T-Mobile service didn't do well with Disneyland. We had to transfer a different type of device. Yeah. There's just a lot of technical stuff with it.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest thing is because we both have T-Mobile as our personal phone, so that's what we were using. And it just got to the point where like our streams ended up being just really laggy, and you know, we ended up finding out that AT&T pretty much sponsors Disney, so we're like, you know what, let's go ahead and get an AT&T line strictly for live streaming. You know, so you know, we got a second line for just strictly live streaming. Strictly live streaming. And you know, like I said, after that we haven't really had much issues.
Yeah, it gets smoother.
Yeah, it gets smoother.
You get
for sure.
used to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. The content will always evolve. Like if I go back to my like first few videos, I'm like, oh my god, you know, like what was I doing? You know, and then you get better and better as you go. You get more comfortable, you know, and all that good stuff.
Yes, exactly, 100%.
Yeah. Now, Rachel, you mentioned that you were a Disney cast member. And you were also a Universal team member, if I'm not mistaken, right?
The two worlds collide.
Yeah, two worlds collide. Yeah. So, okay, let's have tea time with Rochelle. So, how was it working for Disney?
I missed it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, my career has always been towards designing, costume or fashion design, but just working for Disney in general gave me a really magical experience. And it sounds really corny, but I just love the people around that I was working with. It's such a different vibe compared to like all the other jobs I've had. Just my experience with Disney. I mean, I wish I would be able to do the stuff I want to do as for my career, but I worked as a retailer, which is completely like a whole, it was such a different experience because there was so much to learn. There was a lot of people at the parks all the time, but overall, like your cast member, your coworkers made it so much better to work at the parks too. It's not just being at the park; it's literally the people there. It's like everybody makes it so special, and everybody is kind of just more happy and like, you know, it's just like a getaway for me too, because it's like we have our life that we're going on. It's like my little vacation. Like, okay, at least if I'm going to work, at least I'm enjoying my work.
Right.
But, yeah, I miss it.
That's actually really good to hear. Like, that was one of the things I've always wanted to kind of do that, like work at the parks and what have you, because I love these places. And one of my big worries was like, if I work there, it's going to ruin it. Was that, so it doesn't seem like that was your experience at all. Like, it didn't seem like it tainted it.
No, definitely not. I mean, it did lessen for me. I'm not like, to be honest, it did lessen for me to go to the parks because I'm always there, but it didn't make me tired of being in the parks, if that makes sense. Because it was always so fun still. Even though you're working, it's still a nice experience just being there. Even though you're not riding any rides or anything, but just the people around you, that energy that it has, it just makes it a lot better.
Okay. And you were in the retail end of it. Now, if you don't mind me asking, were you like in the parks or downtown Disney or?
Both.
Oh, both.
Yeah,
Wow.
so my home stores were at Downtown Disney. The home stores I had was World of Disney. I don't know if you remember, Vault 28. And it
Yes.
was, yes, it was such a long time ago. So I used to
Yeah.
work there, and then D Street, where used to sell like Star Wars and all that other like little Marvel merch. And the other one was well, this one's still there. It's Wonderground Gallery, and that's my favorite one to work at. But
Cool.
those are like my home stores. And then if they need coverage in the parks, then they transfer us there. And it's not that bad. You just gotta learn where the backstage is kind of crazy sometimes. But as far as like being put into the location, a lot of the stuff are pretty much the same thing. Like all the merch and all that. So you kind of like grabs onto it quickly. But yeah, it's a little overwhelming, but it's fun. It's such a fun experience.
Now, was it okay? So you seem to have a really good experience working at Disney. Was it the same kind of vibe at Universal? Like, what was it? Was it positive, mostly positive over there as well, or?
Uh, it's definitely different because I actually work in the costume department for Universal, so it's not like I'm always face to face with customers. So that's the one thing that's different. A lot of the times I'm always with my coworkers, my team members, which you always have to communicate. And I work pretty much between the parks, and then we have this warehouse that's outside of the park, which is like located in Glendale. So that's the warehouse where we actually produce all the costumes from scratch. So we do like the Water World, we do HHN, which is like my favorite production. We did Grinchmas and all that, but as far as like the environment, it's definitely way different. I feel like I don't want to say it's like in terms of professionalism, but it's like I feel like you have to really be more onto it because it's like we're producing things for the park and they have to get done. So we gotta like send this out, get this done, or like they need things really quick and all that. But that's pretty much the energy that I got from there, and then having my coworkers do it, it's pretty good. It's not anything like I would say anything bad about it.
That's good. That's really cool. Yeah,
I
I've
will
always
say though, not to knock Universal because I love Universal too, but I have to say though, when OG asked you, what was your experience with Disneyland? You're like, oh, it was magical, it was great. And then when he asked you about Universal, there was some slight hesitation there in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because, like, I mean, with Corey, he loves Universal, so he has a different passion for it.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like my passion towards Disney, it's more like a personal liking. I think I think that's where I'm going for. Because if I did like costuming for Disney, I feel like I would love it so much more. Not to hate on Universal, okay? But it's just Disney just holds a different feeling in my heart, so I feel more passionate about the company itself because it grew with me, so it's definitely different. But
And I do love how they're like how both entities like hit people in a certain way, where like how you are big on Disney and you're big on Universal. It's like I love like hearing those little backstories of like how you come to the point of saying, oh, Universal's my niche or Disney's my niche. It's always great to hear.
Yeah.
Now, Corey, you I remember in one of your Q&As, you mentioned that you want to get into like video production, right? In like Hollywood or what have you. So that sort of stems to your love of Universal a little bit, maybe? Because Universal is more about movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like I said, my whole like video and videography career and filmmaking career started back in like 2010, when I was actually doing YouTube and stuff. I started, I won't ramble on too long, but, I started off like learning about visual effects and stuff like this. And it got to the point where I was like having so much fun doing all of it. I wanted to go to film school. So I actually ended up going to, Art Institute of Seattle, for a couple years. And, when I had come out here to LA for vacation, I actually ended up finding out about the Los Angeles Film School. So, I tried getting into the LA Film School and they accepted me. So it was pretty much just getting out of, Art Institute and moving my way to, LA Film. And, with LA Film, good thing, everything was actually online. So I learned pretty much all I know about film online, but 100% way better than being on campus at the Art Institute. I learned so much. All my teachers were actually in the film industry. They've worked on several movies, big franchises and stuff like that. So, and they also sent us like all the equipment that we would need to go out and shoot our own films and all this. But yeah, like I said, I've always kind of been a fan of Universal, pictures and, stuff like that. So when I actually got the chance to come out here, or go to Universal Studios for, like the actual theme park, coming out here for vacation, this was like, I want to say, 2008, 2009 was my first time actually going there, and I was blown away. I was like, this place is awesome, like I said,
Wow.
it was, during that time, it was no match for me between Disneyland and Universal. I was more excited to be at Universal just for that fact, like, I love film, and, for the love of film. And, another thing that even pushed it even more was, the job I was talking about earlier, that I got in 2021, I started working for the Oscars. So that even pushed me even more to, like, love Universal, like seeing everything that goes on behind the scenes. And, even with the Oscars, I was working pretty much behind the scenes and seeing how the film industry, works and stuff. So I really got my taste of, working in the film industry. And, like I said, I still love Universal, to this day, like, still always gonna love it. Like, and like I said, it's kind of like a 50-50 thing for me when it comes to Universal and Disney.
Actually, that's a good point that you said that you went there 2008. I didn't go to Universal till literally 2020.
Yeah, see, when I first
was
told
my
her,
first one.
yeah.
Wow.
See, that's another thing is, I was the first one to actually take her to Universal.
I've never been to Universal.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do have respect for Universal because I too am a big film buff. I love cinema.
Yeah.
And Disney will always be like my front foremost, number one thing.
For
but
sure.
I do love Universal in that aspect, same as you do, that I love cinema. I love film. And I actually got my bachelor's degree in creative writing in entertainment.
Nice.
I got it from Full Sail University, which I'm actually working on a little writing thing right now. So, I mean, if it goes anywhere, if you wanted to film it, I write it, you film it if you want to.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Actually, Full Sail and LA Film are actually the same company, I believe. So that's cool. We pretty much attended the same school under like just different names, I guess. So yeah.
But I remember going out to Universal and doing Universal Hollywood, because I've also been to Universal Orlando, but Hollywood is more, for the filmmaking business.
Exactly.
It's actually a working studio.
Exactly.
And to be able to do the tram tour, and I swear, like, the hairs on my arm, like, stood up. And I mean, I'm Italian, so I have lots of hair, so it's like, but to be able to see those real life film sets, to see, from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho and Back to the Future, Clock Tower, it was like just, I am like looking at cinema history right now. And it completely blew my mind.
The tram tour in Hollywood, it's my favorite thing. I love it.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, literally, whenever we go to Universal, that's the first thing we have to do.
Yeah,
like
especially, we're gonna go studio tour.
Yeah, especially on the live streams. Cause like I said, we were doing so many live streams at Universal before doing Disney stuff. That's the first thing we would always do. And we always have to do, like, tram tour because it's my favorite, it's her favorite. And, like I said, it's just one of those things where it's like the feeling you get, like, being on the back lot and knowing, like, these films, like, these big films, and there's history, there's a lot of history at Universal. And, just the fact that you're actually on the back lot, knowing that these, historic films were actually filmed there, it definitely it kind of gives me chills, I'm like, wow, this is crazy, and like I said, I'm always excited to go to Universal, when we have the time.
Well, and it's crazy too, like, how much is filmed there, like, even the Disney stuff. It's like, everybody films there.
They filmed, Pirates of the Princess Diaries, Pirates of the Caribbean, on, I forget what they call it. It's the, where all the monsters, where they film all the monster stuff. But they used, like, something over there with pirates, and then Princess Diaries, of course. So, it's cool. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now our final topic, and this is mostly just about the current state of, like, Disney parks. Because, like, George and I are on this channel, like, all day long talking about the new rides, this, that, and the other, the rumors. Yeah. And I'm on Twitter. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but
I don't know if we have a Twitter account actually.
Well, not Enchanted.
Yeah, not Enchanted. I got my
personal.
Yeah, we got our personal stuff. Like, yeah.
Trust me, I don't know if you want to.
There's a lot of like drama right now in the Disney like kind of fandom, like it's in terms of like the product, right? Like, are they delivering? People aren't happy. I know a lot of people get mad about like reservations. Right, stuff like that. So there's a little bit of an uneasiness right now with the Disney with the whole situation. Like, where do you guys stand with it right now? Like, are you? Because in your videos you seem like you always have a good time, you know? I mean, but are there a lot of things that are kind of frustrating you too, or are you mostly just kind of like, hey, go with it, or where do you stand?
Yeah, I think, with us, it's definitely one of those things where we kind of just go with the flow. We definitely try to stay updated with what's actually happening at parks, and we don't really stay updated as much as we can. Like, we see, we'll see updates here and there.
Yeah, like, we know what's happening.
Yeah.
But I know we have our other content creator friends that do Disney content.
Yeah, they're the ones,
We're just, like, looking through their grammar.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's so cool.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they just announced the new ride at Avengers Campus that's supposed to be opening soon, I guess. But yeah, definitely to go back on what you're kind of talking about, reservations, like, I hate the whole reservation.
I know,
like, I hate it. Like, especially like with us living out here in LA, it's definitely hard to travel out to Disney. So, there have been times where we're like, oh shoot, like we forgot we made a reservation.
Yes.
So obviously if you don't go out to the park and scan in.
That was like during my first trimester when I just did not feel good and I didn't realize that I made reservations with you and I was like, oh, now I'm in penalty.
Yeah, she ended up getting penalized for
I think it was just a month though.
Yeah, it was like a month. She wasn't able to
book after that. But still, I was just like, man, like I wish. That's the only time I really wish that there was no reservation.
Yeah.
Like, I understand they gotta count the guests, I guess, to keep the traffic, balanced, but I'm like, man, I wish I don't have to get in trouble for just not going to the park.
For sure. It can be for sure. George, how do you feel about the reservation system? Where are you stand with it?
Yeah, I'm, luckily I have not yet, knock on wood, had any issues with the reservation system personally. But I feel like that if all these other companies and all these other parks are doing well without them, Disney can do so as well. I mean, they've done without the reservation systems 100%. Prior to COVID, prior to the shutdown. I get it. It's a data-driven system, but I mean, I think it's more just the inconvenience to the guest. That's where my thing is. I understand 100%. Disney's part, but I also look at the guest standpoint, and it's, life gets in the way, and sometimes you can't make that reservation. And I really feel like to go into a theme park to enjoy yourself and have fun, you shouldn't be penalized for that.
100%. And, that's definitely the one thing that kind of sucks is, we want to also attend like events that go on during the holidays, I think Christmas is like all blocked off or, 4th of July, all those,
you just have to book it like 3 weeks in advance just to be able to get the specific date that you
right.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just like Universal. I mean, Universal, like we have gold. So, we definitely get a lot more dates available for us to attend the park, but
at least we can go anytime we can. But with the reservations for Disney, it's like we're not technically blocked this day, but we became blocked because it became full.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, Universal has been doing great without a reservation system, and just like you said, and like I think Disney would be fine as well. I just definitely see like maybe there's gonna be, without the reservation system, maybe an overload of people at the parks. More.
It might, probably in the beginning. But I feel like people will just get used to it. They're like, we'll skip the day, but we'll go tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, that's, life does happen sometimes too, so.
It does. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's more about like not necessarily making the reservation. It's like, what if you don't feel good that day? Like you wake up with a migraine and stuff. Yeah. And that's where the problems come in,
Yeah.
So,
or as like you're pregnant right now, so it's like, you could you may have some like obstacles going, where it's like, morning sickness, I don't really feel like getting up, or it's like, or
It's
Disney dings
unpredictable.
you and it's like, hello, I'm sorry, I'm crowning. Like, excuse me. It's like,
Exactly.
Belly right here.
Yeah, exactly. See, and that's what I'm saying. I really do hope Disney, because I think Disney World no longer has reservations, right?
It's like limited, right, George?
They are. They
understanding?
have a certain ticket going on right now. It was for the summer sale.
Yeah.
That it was like a 4-day ticket, no reservations, whatnot. But I think at a
Okay.
certain point, they're slowly transitioning into getting rid of the reservation system.
Mhm.
Disneyland, I feel like it's going to take a little bit more time.
For
because
sure.
I think it's more of a locals driven park, so
Yeah.
they get a
Yeah,
lot
definitely.
more. There's a lot more traffic going on right now with Disney.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Corey, Michelle, it was an absolute honor having you on the show today. One last time.
Oh.
No, we
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank
inviting us
you.
on. Being able to talk to you guys about some Disney stuff. Like, we honestly have not really been able to do something like this. We definitely talk Disney with, our other
friends,
Disney friends.
yeah.
And, like I said, once you get into the Disney community and you start doing like content creation like we do, you tend to meet the other Disney content creators and they just become your friends. So
It's really nice because
it is
we
nice.
all share the same passion
Yeah.
and like we love. So it's
Mhm.
definitely like nice to go to people that like
Yeah.
have the same interests.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, yeah, we've definitely made a lot of friends with people just from doing these live streams and vlogs and stuff like that. So it's really cool feeling like, you're part of a family, but like Disney,
Yeah.
So it's really cool. And, we've definitely, we're definitely still excited to, do more content. We have been slacking a little because life does happen. But, we haven't forgotten about, we call them enchanters. We haven't forgotten about the enchanters, and, we're definitely, gonna be back in the parks and, get back to our content creation, in the next couple weeks. So, but yeah, like I said, we definitely appreciate you inviting us here because we love talking about this stuff, with our friends. Yeah. Yeah, we apologize. We apologize for the lag on, coming on the show, but, we were finally able to make it happen.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. No, the pleasure is all ours. Thank you so much for coming on. And, like everybody at home, I will be linking all of their, socials and, YouTube, channels down, below. So make sure you follow, subscribe, show them all the love. They do phenomenal, especially all you Disney fans out there. They do phenomenal in-park Disney stuff.
Thank
So
you,
definitely
thank
give
you.
them all the support.
Hey,
And,
make sure everybody, you guys go subscribe also to Christopher, Orange Grove and George here, be sure to stay on
you.
all their stuff here for sure too.
Thank you so much. And, Citrus George, if you could let everybody at home know where they could find you on, social media, my friend.
Absolutely. You can find me on X at Disney George. Please check out the podcast called A Walk with Walt. And of course, you'll find me here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
I had to tell George he can't share his OnlyFans on here anymore.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants that right now. I know I don't. So.
Thank you all so much for watching. Comment down below with all your thoughts on everything we discussed today, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Orange Grove 55.
It's the revolution.